All right, welcome back to Red Hot Confessions, where we dive into your wildest, most intimate stories, and I, Toni, give you my unfiltered take. I love hearing from you all, and tonight's batch is a doozy. Let's jump right in. First up, we have a story from someone who calls themselves Midnight Marauder. They write, Toni, I've always been a bit of a shy person, especially when it comes to romance. But last week, something just snapped. I was at this dimly lit jazz club, the kind with red velvet seats and a saxophone player who sounded like he was pouring his soul into every note. I'd been nursing a whiskey, feeling a little brave, when this incredibly attractive person sat down at the table next to mine. We made eye contact a few times, and I could feel my heart pounding. Instead of retreating, like I usually would, I leaned over and whispered, "That saxophone player is making me feel things I haven't felt in years." They turned, a slow smile spreading across their face, and replied, "Oh yeah? And what kind of things are those?" We ended up talking for hours, and by the end of the night, we were back at their place. It was passionate, intense, and completely spontaneous. I felt so alive. The kicker? The next morning, they confessed they'd been too nervous to approach me themselves. We're going on a proper date next week, and I'm still buzzing. Okay, Midnight Marauder, I love this. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Sometimes, you just have to seize the moment. That little push of courage, fueled by a good whiskey and a soulful saxophone, can lead to amazing things. It's not about being loud or overly confident. It's about a quiet boldness, a willingness to put yourself out there even when your knees are knocking. And the fact that they were just as nervous as you, that's the magic, isn't it? It's that shared vulnerability that makes a connection feel real. You took a risk, and it paid off beautifully. Bravo! Keep that spark alive. Next, we have a confession from Curious in Cleveland. Toni, I need your advice. My partner and I have been together for 5 years, and things have gotten comfortable, maybe too comfortable. We're great friends, we live together, we have a good life. But the spark, the heat, has definitely faded. Last night, we were watching a movie, and I found myself fantasizing about someone else entirely. Not in a mean way, I love my partner. But it got me thinking, is it normal to still have strong desires for other people when you're in a long-term relationship? Should I be worried? Or is this just a sign that maybe we need to inject some novelty into our own sex life? I'm so confused. Curious in Cleveland, this is a classic dilemma, and you're definitely not alone in feeling this way. Let's break it down. First, yes, it's absolutely normal to find other people attractive and to have fantasies, even when you're in a committed relationship. Human desire is complex, and it's not a switch that you can just turn off. The key isn't to stop having these thoughts, but to understand what they mean. Are these fleeting fantasies, or do they represent a deeper, unmet need in your relationship? That's the question. If the comfort you're experiencing means a lack of intimacy, a lack of deep connection, or a lack of sexual satisfaction, then those fantasies are a clear signal. They're not necessarily a sign that you want to leave your partner, but a sign that something needs attention within the relationship. My take? Don't panic. Instead, use this as an opportunity. Talk to your partner, but tread carefully. Instead of saying, "I'm fantasizing about other people," try framing it as, "I miss the excitement we used to have," or "I feel like we've fallen into a routine, and I want to spice things up." Suggest trying new things in the bedroom. Plan a romantic getaway. Recreate a date from when you first met. Sometimes, all it takes is a conscious effort to reignite that flame. If you've tried everything and still feel a void, then maybe it's time for a more in-depth conversation about your needs and desires. But start with reigniting what you have. All right, moving on. This one's from Secret Admirer. Toni, I have a confession that makes me blush just thinking about it. For months, I've been secretly watching my neighbor. He's incredibly fit, always working out in his backyard, I'd catch glimpses through my window and my imagination would just run wild. One afternoon, I was watering my plants, and he was doing some sort of intense stretching exercise. I couldn't help but stare. He looked up, caught my eye, and winked. My stomach did a flip. Later that day, I found a small folded note tucked into my mailbox. It just said, "I see you watching. I like it. Let's make it more interesting. Your neighbor." I was terrified and thrilled. I wrote back, "What did you have in mind?" and slipped it under his door. He replied with a time and a place, his patio after sunset. We spent the evening talking, and then, well, let's just say my secret admiration led to some very real, very hot confessions and actions. We've been seeing each other discreetly ever since, and it's the most exhilarating thing I've ever experienced. Secret admirer. Oh, you are living out a fantasy. This is fantastic. The slow burn, the mutual acknowledgement, the daring exchange of notes, it's all the ingredients for a steamy, forbidden romance. And the fact that he initiated the next step, that shows confidence and a clear interest. It's that delicious tension, the thrill of the unknown, combined with undeniable physical attraction. You took a leap of faith, and it sounds like it led you somewhere incredibly exciting. My take? Enjoy every single moment of it. The thrill of a secret affair can be incredibly intoxicating. Just make sure you're both on the same page about what this is and what it isn't. But for now, bask in that exhilarating glow. Let's keep the confessions coming. This one is from Late Bloomer. Toni, I'm 45 years old, and I've never really experienced anything wild. My relationships have been safe, predictable, and honestly, a little boring. I've always been the good girl, but recently, I met someone who was the complete opposite. They're adventurous, spontaneous, and incredibly sensual. They've been slowly introducing me to a side of myself I never knew existed. Last week, they took me to this underground club, all neon lights and thumping music. They encouraged me to dance, to let loose, and for the first time, I truly did. I ended up dancing with strangers, feeling this incredible freedom. Later, in a secluded corner, they whispered in my ear, "You're so much more than you let yourself be." That night, we ended up back at their place, and it was unlike anything I've ever experienced. It was raw, passionate, and I felt more alive than I have in years. It's like I've woken up. I'm still processing it all, but I'm so grateful for this awakening. Late bloomer, this is beautiful. This is what life is all about. Discovering new parts of yourself, even when you think you've got it all figured out. 45 is absolutely not too late to explore your wild side. In fact, I'd argue it's the perfect time. You've got life experience, you know yourself better, and you're less likely to be swayed by external pressures. This new person sounds like they've seen something in you that you hadn't yet recognized yourself, and they've helped you unlock it. That feeling of freedom, of shedding inhibitions, is incredibly powerful. My take? Embrace this awakening with open arms. Don't let anyone tell you you're too old or too set in your ways. This is your journey of self-discovery. Continue to explore these new feelings, these new desires. If this person is helping you to become more of who you truly are, then cherish that connection. It sounds like they're not just a lover, but a catalyst for your personal growth. Keep dancing, keep exploring, and keep letting yourself bloom. And finally, for tonight, we have a confession from Double Agent. Toni, this is going to sound crazy, but I'm in a bit of a predicament. I've been seeing someone new for a few weeks, and it's incredibly hot. They're adventurous. They push my boundaries, and our chemistry is off the charts. The problem is, I'm also still technically in a relationship with someone else. It wasn't a bad relationship, but it had become very routine, very vanilla. I was about to break it off when this new person came into my life, and suddenly my old relationship feels even more lacking. I'm torn. My head is telling me to be honest, and end things with my long-term partner, but my body is screaming for the excitement of the new one. What do? I feel like a terrible person. Double agent. Oh boy. This is the classic crossroads, isn't it? And yes, it's a tough spot to be in. And feeling like a terrible person is a natural consequence of the situation. Let's be honest. You're playing with fire and someone is likely to get burned. My take? Your head is right. The routine, vanilla relationship that you were already considering ending is a clear signal. The arrival of this new, exciting person has amplified that feeling, and that's not a coincidence. Fantasies and new attractions are one thing, but when you're actively engaged in a relationship with someone new, while still technically with another, that's a different ballgame. You need to be honest. First, with yourself. What do you truly want? Are you looking for excitement? Or are you looking for a genuine connection? The new person offers excitement, but is there depth there? Second, you need to be honest with your long-term partner. This is the hardest part. You owe them the truth, or at least a clear indication that you're no longer invested. Stringing them along while you explore a new, passionate affair is not fair. It's crucial to end one relationship cleanly before fully diving into another. If the new relationship is as incredible as you say, then it deserves a fair chance without the guilt and complexity of your previous commitment. It's not about being terrible. It's about making a difficult but necessary choice to be honest and move forward. End the old, then explore the new. And that's all the time we have for tonight's Red Hot Confessions. You've all given me so much to think about, and I hope my takes have offered some clarity, or at least a good chuckle. Keep those stories coming. Until next time, stay passionate, stay curious, and stay a little bit wild. Good night.